Ցության եւ ծանր պահերին քեզ եմ հիշում դու իմ վահան ես իսկ ես քո վրկան հաղթանակի.
Good afternoon. It's great to be here today to share these few moments together. Let's begin by proclaiming our faith in the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and say, Amen. I just returned from Armenia, where I participated in a very special event. It was a demonstration, it was a walk to bring awareness to domestic violence. In fact, I've had this small ribbon on me since I've returned, and I've kept it on because this month, October, is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and it's a very important topic for us as Armenian Christians today. Armenian Christians, because as a faith community, we have a responsibility to not just practice the faith with words, but with our actions. We happen to be in Armenia because over there are no laws against domestic violence. The group of people, grassroots movement called the Coalition to Stop Domestic Violence, was eager to get out on the streets and collect signatures to get legislation moving through. And it's a beautiful process, you know. This is the democratic process at work. And of course, there are many failures and there are many success stories, as in any democracy that is just beginning. Being there in Armenia 24 years after independence was proclaimed reminded me that here in America, where now we enjoy over 200 years of independence, but what was it like just 25 years after independence? There was slavery, there was discontempt towards the government, there was inequality, there were a host and an assortment of difficulties, as there are today, 200 plus years later. And certainly in any democracy, in any system, you're going to have some good points as well as bad points. But here is an opportunity for people to get together and make that change happen on a big level. And certainly we as Armenian Christians have to take our responsibility to the gospel message of Jesus Christ, seriously, and we have to take that message out to the people because that is the command that is given to us. Take the message and remember that I'm with you to the end of the ages. When you say domestic violence, well, you're talking about something very serious. You know, I could sit here and give you statistics about how often it happens, how it happens, the different types of domestic violence. You've probably heard different statistics. But you know what? As a Christian, this is very important. Even one case, even that one case, is too many. Remember the story that Jesus said, which man of you, if he had 100 sheep and one of them was lost, would not leave the 99 and go after that one because it is lost? And this is how God views his creation, going after the ones that are lost. And certainly in the case of domestic violence, we have an opportunity on a large scale to look at really the problems and how we can effectuate change. Today we're living in a world that has all kinds of difficulties. For instance, there are things that may seem beyond our control and things that are within our control. When you look at the Ebola virus outbreak that has people up in arms right now, these are things that are coming, and certainly we have the ability to prevent some of this, but we fall short of that preventative measures. Why? Because of egos, because of profit motives, a whole host and the sort of things. In the case of domestic violence, it comes down to, yes, ego. It also comes down to control factors. It comes down to some of the inner workings of the self. It comes down to the anger that we have, not only towards partners, but anger within ourselves and the insecurities we have. There are many, many reasons for domestic violence to take place. I'm not here to give you reasons. I'm not here to give you statistics. What I'm telling you is that it exists. And the first step of combating any kind of disease, whether it is a social disease, whether it is a disease that is caused by humans, whether it is a disease that comes to us by illness because of bacteria or virus, the first step is to acknowledge it. And that's why this month is very important, Domestic Violence Awareness Month. At Datev Outreach, a program that was started here at the Western Diocese, this month we use as an opportunity to get the message out right on the grassroots level. And I'm going to invite you this coming Thursday, we're going to be having our fourth annual walk against domestic violence. And we begin at the St. Peter Church in Glendale at the corner of Stalker and Concord. You come there, we gather there around 3 o'clock, and then we'll be walking through the streets of Glendale with police escort through Burbank and ending up at the diocesan headquarters to receive the blessing of His Eminence, the Archbishop, to also hear speakers and to rally around a cause that for so long has been hidden. The reason why we were in Armenia happened to be on October 1st. It was an important day in the fight against domestic violence among Armenians. That is the day that a young girl, 20-year-old, named Zaroui Petrosyan, was slain. She was killed by her husband and by her mother-in-law. And she became the icon for domestic violence prevention because it was so outlandish that something like this could happen. Tragic is not even a word for it. It was up and above, beyond tragedy, that something like this could happen in our midst. Since that time, it has been Zaroui Petrosyan has been the reason why the coalition got together. It's the reason why we started Datev Outreach a few years ago. It's because that there is this illness that is inside of our community that people don't want to admit. We call it the amot factor. In Armenian, the word amot means shame. That it is a shame. You don't air your dirty laundry in front of the people. But you know what? That's so wrong. It just doesn't even make sense in a day and age like today. You do air your dirty laundry if you wanted to clean it. Okay? That's how simple it is. And certainly domestic violence is something that we need to clean and get out of, first of all, the closet, get it out from being underneath the rug. We need to get it, we need to recognize that it is a problem, and once recognizing, we need to address those situations. And so we have this walk for domestic violence. And so in Armenian, the coalition got together and they collected signatures. All of this points to saying that this is a real problem and we need to address it. And in addressing it, we bring light to a dark situation. So this is what I'm asking you to do this month. It is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Let's go out there and find out how we can get involved. I know that this broadcast goes to places beyond the Los Angeles community. In the Los Angeles community, please join us on our walk. It's this Thursday. This coming Thursday, we'll be walking from Glendale to Burbank. But in your own areas, I'm sure that there are different opportunities, different venues, different activities that you can do it. Now, why do I say this in this program called Armenian Christianity Today? Because as a Christian, you cannot stand still. As a Christian, you need to engage in your life. A Christian is not a solitude life. You can't have just one Christian in the world. A Christian is somebody who engages with other people. Sometimes those people are of different faiths, different beliefs, different understandings of even the gospel message, of even their Christianity. But what you do is when you engage with people, you find common bonds and you find means by which you can resolve situations. This week happens to be the week of the holy angels, the holy archangels, Gabriel and Michael. Think about that idea of an angel. What are angels? They're ones that have wings and they fly. We are angels, someone had said, but we only have one wing. And the only way that we can fly is by reaching out to one another so that together we can reach to those places. And this is important. As Christians, we understand that we have a responsibility here in this world. While we were engaging in the walk in Armenia, some gentleman came up and spoke to us, and he said, Have you not read in the Bible that in the Bible it says that the woman will be subservient to the man? In the Bible it says that a woman must obey her master, the man. And of course, what's interesting is people can interpret any way they want, but it's not the accurate interpretation. It certainly isn't the interpretation that the church gives. And here's the basic question. Here's the very, very basic question. Jesus. What would Jesus do? Who would Jesus beat? Would he beat anybody? Obviously not. He would reach out in compassion. He would reach out in love to anybody who is hurting. As over and over and over we see in the Gospels, Jesus reaches out to people and helps them. He reaches out and he cures them. He finds an end to the illnesses. And that's what I'm asking you to do today. In understanding what's going on in the world of domestic violence, we bring light to the darkness, and we take the first step in resolving those situations by acknowledging the problem that's in front of us, acknowledging it. And that's why we call it domestic violence awareness. Let's be aware that it happens, that people hurt one another. People in loving relationships, so-called loving relationships, husbands and wives, can hurt one another. We need to, first of all, accept it. In accepting it, we need to admit that we are the agents by which that change will come. Our prayers are extended to God to give us the strength, to give us the courage, to give us the immediate help, to give us the knowledge to be able to reach out. But most importantly, our prayers should be to give us the compassion to reach out to one another. Let's reach out to one another. Let's bring an end to this dreaded disease and to all diseases that are in our control. I ask for your prayers. I ask for your participation. This is Domestic Violence Month. The Datev Outreach here at the Western Diocese is a program that needs your support, that needs your immediate attention, because these are real problems that are taking place. Please join us for the walk. Join in your community wherever you may be. Until next week, reminding you that we give praise and glory always to the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.